Greetings, PlayStation adepts. There are new discounts in the PlayStation Store until March 23 and 30, and I chose among them the most interesting offers in my opinion. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, the Game of the Year edition for $29.99. This is a hardcore soul-like action RPG from the third person, telling the story of a one-armed Japanese warrior who swore to protect a young master from the ruthless Asina clan. Marvel's Spider-Man Game of the Year edition. This is a third-person action adventure about Spider-Man, who must restore order in New York and deal with urban gangs and super-villains. This edition includes all DLC. Forspoken for $46.89. The game tells the story of a girl who finds a talking bracelet and finds herself in another world where she acquires magical abilities. She will have to save him from destruction and reveal the secret of his birth. Forspoken has received very bad reviews from players and purses, and I also can't recommend it for purchase, but if someone still wants to play, then buying with a 33% discount is still better than for a full price, although I expected that the first discount would be much more. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus Deluxe Edition for $8.99. This is a good first-person shooter in an alternate history setting where Nazi Germany conquered the world. You will play as Captain William Blazkowicz, who has the appearance of an Aryan but hates the Nazis and their regime. In addition to the main game, this edition includes 3 story editions. Sonic Frontiers for $40.19. The story begins when Sonic and his friends are sucked into a wormhole land scattered around a mysterious island. The hedgehog retains his abilities from previous games. He can still run fast, jump over rails, collect rings and attack enemies. All this takes place in an open world and on special levels that look like classic levels from previous parts of the game. There are also giant bosses in the game, although the battles with them are quite dull and monotonous. Nevertheless, Sonic Frontiers turned out to be interesting and diverse. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War for $19.79. This is a first-person shooter, which takes place in the early 1980s, when a special squad was created under the leadership of a CIA agent to capture a dangerous Soviet spy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge for $19.99. In this old-school pixel bitmap from a video about Mutant Ninja Turtles, April O'Neil, Casey and Splinter will have to fight with Krang and Shredder to save New York. The game is definitely worth a try to all fans of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Terminator Resistance for $15.99. This is a first-person shooter, the events of which take place in post-apocalyptic Los Angeles, almost 30 years after the end of the world. You will have to play as Private Jacob, whom Skynet is announced to hunt for. Life is Strange 2 for $12.77. This is an interactive film based on the plot of which brothers Sean and Daniel ran away from home after a tragic incident and went to Mexico. While hiding from the police, they discover Daniel's telekinetic abilities. Resident Evil Village for $19.99. This is a first-person survival horror where events unfold a few years after the finale of the 7th part. Ethan Winters and his wife Mia have settled in a new place and are raising their daughter, but they are again overtaken by a new tragedy, because of which Ethan again has to fight mutants and reveal the sinister secrets of the Umbrella Corporation. Assassin's Creed Valhalla for $19.79. In this part of the action game with elements of third-person stealth in the open world, you will play as the Viking leader Eivor, who must find a new home for his clan in the lands of England. To do this, he will have to make alliances, help other clans and raid local settlements. Crysis Trilogy for $24.99. It includes remasters of the first, second and third parts of the first-person shooter Crysis, where the main character, dressed in a high-tech nanosuit, must save the world from alien invasion and government conspiracies. Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition for $4.49. This is a third-person action game with cool hand-to-hand fighting, carjacking and shootouts, which takes place in criminal Hong Kong. Streets of Rage 4 for $12.49. This is beat 'em up, in which, according to the plot, Woodoak City is captured by a new crime syndicate, headed by the children of the antagonist of the original trilogy. Initially, 4 game characters are available, differing in different parameters and unique abilities, but as you progress and score points, you can get access to several more characters. The game supports a local cooperative consisting of up to 4 players. Raccoon City Edition for $14.99. This set includes a remake of the third-person survival horror Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and the multiplayer game Resident Evil Resistance. In the second part, the action takes place in Raccoon City, where the inhabitants have turned into zombies under the influence of a biological weapon called the T-virus. The game has two story campaigns for a rookie police officer Leon Kennedy and the student Claire Redfield. In the third part, the main character Jill Valentine tries to get out of the city and not fall into the hands of the mutant nemesis, who is jazzing her. Little Nightmares I and 2 bundle for $14.99. This set includes 2 parts of platformers with horror elements of Little Nightmares. In the first, the player will play as a girl in a yellow dress named Sixth, who must get out of an underwater vessel called the Womb. In the second part, you will control a mono boy who has fallen into a world distorted by transmission from a distant signal tower. Little Nightmares both fascinates and scares with its atmosphere and creepy creatures inhabiting game locations, and is very addictive. Call of Duty Vanguard for $29.99 is a first-person shooter whose events unfold during World War II. The plot will begin at the very end of the war, when the 4 main characters will unite in an elite squad and go to the very rear of Berlin for the heads of higher-ranking officers. They will be opposed by the head of the Gestapo, Heinrich Freisinger and Heinrich Müller, who want to revive the Reich and organized Operation Phoenix for this. The Evil Within for $4.99. This survival horror in which you have to play as Detective Sebastian Castellanos, who investigates together with his colleagues a bloody murder and encounters a mysterious and powerful force, as a result of which the detective finds himself in a crazy world full of ugly creatures and dangerous traps. Tomb Raider Definitive Edition for $4.99. This is an action-adventure with elements of a third-person RPG about a young archaeologist girl Lara Croft, who got to a mysterious island after a shipwreck, where she encounters sectarians and paranormal phenomena. Rage 2 for $9.99. This is a first-person shooter in the setting of the post-apocalypse, which happened after a meteorite fell to Earth and destroyed 80% of the planet's population. The main character has nanotrite abilities with which he can attack with energy emissions, put up protective barriers, move quickly and spectacularly kill enemies. Amnesia Rebirth for $7.49. This is a horror from the first person. In the story, a French archaeologist goes on an expedition to colonial Africa, but the plane crashes in the desert in Algeria. The main character wakes up with amnesia in the cabin and discovers that all her companions are missing. She has no choice but to get on their trail and go on a dangerous quest. Thief for $2.99. This is a first-person stealth action game in which you have to play as a professional thief who can get anywhere and take out all the valuables from there. He has a large arsenal of arrows with which you can make the enemy sneeze and rub his eyes, break objects to distract the guards, remotely activate the lever, or extinguish torches, because the thief's best friend is darkness. Write in the comments what good discounts were not included in the video and what games you will buy for yourself. Like, subscribe to my channel, press the bell and turn on all notifications so as not to miss other videos about discounts in the PS Store and buy games cheap. Play and win. See ya.